Mitakuye Oyas'in, that means all my relations. But the meaning is deeper. The meaning is that inside of you, there's a bunch of relatives. Everything inside of you is related. It's all connected. They're all relatives. And this is what makes up who you are. That's all connected. So how you live your life, that determines how healthy and strong and nurturing these connections are inside of you. And then by nature, whatever that strength is inside of us, nature projects that outside of us. So in other words, if you are healthy, your connections inside of you are very strong, and then you're able to connect and what do you call it? Live in peace with the world around you. And now, living in peace, that does not mean you agree with everything. It just means you don't force your ideas down each other's throats, and you can agree to disagree on things, you know, and not go to war over it. Yeah? And that avoids a trap of duality by doing that. So, in other words, everything inside of you is connected just like you are connected to everything around you. It all starts within. That's Mitakuye Oyas'in. Yeah, that's the full definition of that, or I should say that's the Lakota Star Knowledge definition of it. And that Mitakuye Oyas'in, all my relations, this is not just talking about your cousins and your uncles and aunties and stuff like that. No, it's everything. It's the plants, it's the animals, it's the water, it's the air, it's the clouds, it's fish, yeah, it's everything that's created in its natural state. That's all relatives to you. So how you are inside of yourself really determines or influences what happens in the world around you. So this is how we affect the weather. Yeah, this is how we affect each other. So that's the full definition of Mitakuye Oyas'in. And when you look at that definition, when I said that includes everything, that means it includes white people too. You see, a lot of Indians, they have ceremonies, they go to sweat lodge or whatever, and then they'll say at the end of their session or whatever, they'll say Mitakuye Oyas'in. And I don't think they really understand what that means. Because, the next day they're saying, man, I don't know about these white people. Man, they're nuts. And that to me is telling me that they don't understand what Mitakuye Oyas'in really means. And they're not communicating from their sacred center, which is the ancestral way of communication. They're communicating from their skin color, that's dualistic. Yeah, so that's why I say these things. So this, when we look at a difficult experience or a really sad one, you got to try to look at it like, that you can learn from it, that you can make the best out of it. Yeah, and then that gives you knowledge, that gives you wisdom and peace. And those are blessings. That's why I said when you look at duality, it's like looking at something that's not done. But the way it is right now, it doesn't look good. Yeah, it might appear as racism or these other things, and so that's why you have to look at it as being incomplete, that it's not done, and that it's going wild. Yeah, so you have to find some way to either add something to it or learn from it or let it go, depending on whatever it's about. Because some dualistic situations are so unhealthy that there's nothing you can do. And the best thing to do is let it go. And don't waste your time, because it's on a collision course with itself. Yeah? It's going to implode eventually. You don't want to be caught up in that. So this is This is why I say these things and that maybe that'll influence some of you to look in your own life, and face those things too, and come to peace with it, so that in the future when you look at it, it doesn't bother you anymore. There's no emotions to it. They left. You're at peace with it. Yeah. So all this ties together, is what I'm saying.